Welcome. Uh-oh. So, welcome to Dungeon Keeper 2. Why are we playing Dungeon Keeper 2 and not Dungeon Keeper 1? I'm glad you asked. There's actually a good reason for it. Dungeon Keeper 1 is too old. I can run it on my computer, obviously, but the problem is, if I don't run it full screen, it's basically running about 600 by 800, which is kind of small for recording. I mean, that's the same size that the SSI games are. But since this is sort of an RTS, it's too small to actually play at that. It also has like no options for adjusting resolution. This is technically running smaller than my monitor. I've got a 1080 monitor that I game on. But when I run Dungeon Keeper 1 full screen, because I've got a multi-monitor setup, it shoves everything over to the right, and OBS just can't handle that. It records a blank screen, and I'm not going to play it on a tiny little postage stamp. So we're going to play Dungeon Keeper 2. Which is not as good as Dungeon Keeper 1. They made a lot of changes.
Smilesville. Welcome, Keeper. Before you lies a happy and carefree realm. The local champion, Lord Antonius, holds the first portal gem you require. Learn how to construct a dungeon and build up your forces so that you can crush Lord
This game also has a lot more plot.
A smile from his face.
Yeah.
Behold, your dungeon heart.
I haven't played this in a couple years,
You will be
so
banished forever from this land.
I'm not entirely sure on all the controls. It'll be
Here walks the good.
it'll be a learning experience.
'Tis he who holds the precious portal gem, but only when you've mustered strength sufficient
So
to challenge him and claim your prize.
they severely curtailed the bestiary, which is both good and bad.
Hatchery.
There we go. Let's put
First,
north to the
there's
north.
money to be made. Click on the flashing seam of gold. Your imps will dig
arrow
out
keys.
the area
Oh,
you
jeez.
designate. Well done. And now your
expanding
faithful
the
servant Ghost will carry back your gold to Dungeon Heart. Once here, it can be spent.
All right,
The
we'll
gold on
probably
the
have to
scale
just
atop
do.
the screen keeps track of your reserve.
The controls are
Indeed,
old.
but more gold is required. 12,000 units should be mined.
Yeah, that drag and drop is, or not drag and drop, but that stretch out is nice. And in Dungeon Keeper 1, it just would just run it. It's not that great. Define user cameras, no. Game options, control options, define keys. Let's see here. Zoom in and zoom out. Okay. Up, down, left, right. There we go. There we go. But anyway,
flowers float above your imps.
yeah, smack that imp.
Their skill acquired.
Dungeon Keeper, if you're not familiar, is a kind of a god game meets RTS.
To administer another, right-click on any of your creatures.
Except you play a bad guy. You've got your hand of Dungeon Keeper. You can pick things up and put them down and smack them. They work harder when you smack them. Anything but a imp gets mad when you smack it. Not terribly surprising. And you're basically trying to kill the... Oh, hey. Portal. Work faster. You're basically trying to take over the world. The first game didn't have much of a plot. You basically just went dungeon to dungeon. Each town had a little mini plot. That was about it.
Behold your portal.
Yeah.
The gate through which new creatures enter your domain, drawn forth to use the runes which you provide. The lair.
I should have... Whoops.
Look well. A goblin has entered your domain.
I should have put the lair over here, but that's okay.
A place where creatures feed on favored food. The eggs will hatch and chickens then emerge to satisfy their appetites. Your lair is not large enough to draw sufficient creatures through the portal.
Yeah, we'll put another layer down there.
15 tiles or more is what's required. Build more.
I really should have done this before I started recording, but we're learning together. Zoom in, zoom out. No. Rotate. Yeah, maybe that's what
Quick saved.
That's not what I want. I would like to... I'll have to figure that out later. Bigger layer.
Good progress, Keeper. See? Your goblins are well rested in their lair, and their bellies full with juicy chicken flesh. Now keep watch.
Oh, right. Built the hatchery, built the lair.
And then your numbers will be strong enough to challenge Lord Antonius. Your lair is built. Now right-click to cancel building mode.
And you can slap the chickens. Alright, so there's really not much else we can do on this tutorial level. We can't train. We can't do much of anything. See, that sells. That's the query tool.
I sense a breach. The servants of Antonius have broken through your walls,
Sense a breach.
And you can move your gaze to see them now by right-clicking on the flashing blade. But worry not this time, for it is only dwarfs.
Yes, we will have to adjust these controls a little.
The hapless enemy dwarfs are being crushed. Observe the white health flowers which appear above them. When they're near to death, you'll see that only one last petal shows.
They're dead. We don't have anything we can do with them, so... So, tutorial levels. Nothing much here.
You shall not taint Smilesville with your evil ways.
Here's the guy.
He speaks, the feeble Lord Antonius. See how the petals of his white health flower are of a special shape.
All right.
This marks him down as your prime target.
That's not what I want.
Take him out.
That's what I want. So, critters get stunned when you drop them. Some get stunned longer than others, so you have to be careful where you drop them. I should have dropped the goblins a little further away, but again, it's a tutorial level, no big deal. Here, go and grab him. I'll take him back to the lair with a heal, but it doesn't matter.
Lord Antonius is fallen. The portal gem lies aside his helpless form, in wait for Horny to collect it, so it's yours.
And now, the Horned Reaper, Horny, is NPC. He was a summonable creature. I suppose he technically is here, too, but you threw 3 things into your sacrificial pit and would summon him, and it was never worth it. The Reaper was always a bigger pain to deal with than he was worth. And look at that art. Oh, look at that, the gem just sort of floating on his fist. Because he doesn't really have a hand. Man, I remember when I first got this game, I was torn between, oh my god, this is so cool, and oh my god, they changed so much. But I mean, when did this thing come out? Yeah, and after every one, you get a little
You have successfully ended the
video
life of Lord
like that,
Antonius, and
little
you've claimed
vignette.
your first portal gem as well. This is a most promising start.
And then you get the final screen here. Oh, 1999, yeah. So we didn't find any specials. Whatever. Heroes destroyed, rooms captured, gold mined. Yeah, they also reduced that. In the first one, there'd be stuff like hopes crushed, children orphaned, you know, silly stuff like that. Oh, hey, we got a high score. Not that it matters. But high score is also a thing. So, after we beat this level, then we can go on to the next one. And we work our way around the map. There's branching choices and so forth and so on. And some of the later missions are really kind of a pain in the neck.
Sings.
So, we'll go ahead and do...
A joyous land filled with
go ahead and
light
do this one.
music.
You know, yeah, escape doesn't do anything. Hang on. I think... Options. Oh, we've got the volume turned all the way up. Okay. My headphones must be low. Alright, in we go.
Sing song.
So,
The good Lord Darius presents himself against you now. He's more than worthy as a foe. But use the rooms you won from Smilesville to good employ, and you'll slay him dead just like Antonius.
yeah, it's a little hard for me to hear because the furnace is going non-stop because when I'm recording this, it's like negative 15 degrees
Training
outside.
room. First, build a lair,
There we go.
and then a hatchery. Then claim the portal near your dungeon.
Alright, what do you want me to do, Domo? Lair, then a hatchery. That's it? That's easy. What are my objectives? Oh well. Alright, there's the portal. There's a lair. There'll be a hatchery. That's the other nice thing about this. Rooms don't have to be perfectly square to be efficient in this game. They just need to have furniture if they need the furniture, which is really nice because some things like workshops you don't need a lot of workshop space, so you can just put it on a long strip down a corridor and it'll work. So I remember when I first played Dungeon Keeper, I was at a friend's house. And he had it, and we were just amazed at the graphics and everything about it. And smacking imps. Well, we can't even summon imps, so I better not kill any of them. It was kind of a game changer. We'd never seen anything like this before. And then I found out that the sequel existed. And that was even more amazing. And again, like I said, there were a few changes to the game. Nothing too crazy. I've only got 2 spells, yeah. Nothing too crazy, but it was still, oh, they changed that. You know, they got rid of the beetles and the spiders. And I think they got rid of racial animosity, or they made it so that all you had was heroes and monsters didn't like each other. Whatever. What do we got? Oh, goblin. I don't care. Give me gold. Yeah, so it kind of... Honestly, I probably should turn down the mouse sensitivity.
Wise can hone their evil craft, perfecting spells for you to cast at goodly foes.
Yeah.
A warlock has arrived.
Okay, so that
his research will serve your
library is good enough to attract a warlock, but not good enough to do any research, because there's no books. You'll see in a minute. Once we claim.
Every bookcase in your library will attract another warlock.
Yeah, there he is. He's telling me about the bookshelves now.
Your library is too small.
There we go. See up on the top there. And now there's room for 2 researchers and 2 spells.
Your library is not yet functional. You must enlarge it.
Four by 4. Fine. I guess we gotta go there. Doesn't need to be 4 by 4. It's big enough as is, but. And we'll throw it on a training room. There we go. Room for 3 people in the training room.
A task well done. But training creatures will cost gold.
Yes, Majordomo. Training costs gold, and you can only train them up so high, and then you have to, I think, switch to a fighting pit, and then the last couple levels can only be done there. Can only be done with combat. What are my objectives? Build a library and train. Okay. Smack them and they'll train faster. Smack them and they'll research faster. Yeah, there's a fair amount of management in this game as well. With, I mean, eventually I have to pay these guys, and I think there's a happiness meter as well. Happiness is a little less of a concern in this game than in the first game. And, you know, every now and then they go to sleep. So we've got... That looks like a elf bed, or a goblin bed. And I'm guessing this Yeah, the eyeball chair would be the wizard. So they've each got their own thing that they use in the lair.
Shown in green atop the screen. Your land will gradually renew it.
Yes. Oh, hey.
Cast
Create
your new
imp.
spell to create an imp. So
1,500
open now the
mana.
panel's
We
spells
have
and
27,000.
select the imp's head symbol. Then cast it with a click
But
on
now
any
it costs
land that's
3,000, so it's an increasing cost.
Your minions need a larger training room.
They do
Your
they?
creatures make good progress. One improves his skill to level 2. A creature can train as high as level 4, but
There
that's
we
the
go.
limit. Further
Oh,
skill can only
past
be
4
attained
is,
above level
okay.
3.
Okay, I thought there was a
You've
fighting
made
pit
good
that
use
would
of
train
your
them higher.
warlock's studious
I may
research.
be thinking of War for the Overworld,
Imps are creatures born of magic and cost
which
mana to
is
sustain.
as close to a Dungeon Keeper 3 as we're ever going to get. There we go, bigger training room. And see, there's the spell. It takes up physical space, can be stolen. And then... yeah, get to work. Hey, you. Get to work. Hey, what are you doing?
You
Oh,
may
you're
wish
getting
to
food.
train your warlocks to improve their skills. To
Yeah,
do
yeah,
this,
yeah, shut
drop
up.
a warlock in the training room.
I want to know what the second spell is.
A new spell has been researched.
Ooh, lightning bolt.
Your warlocks now have studied further, offering you another spell to cast.
That's a
Through
good one.
which a thunderbolt is yours to hurl against such
So,
foolish enemies who dare
up here in the corner, I can't point at it really, but right there is the health of the dungeon heart. There is the mana. It's, oh, the print is so tiny, but we are generating 177 mana per tick, and we're spending 63 mana per tick. Elves, I keep saying elves, I don't want elves. Imps cost mana to maintain. If they all die, the dungeon heart will make 2 or 3, maybe 5, I don't know. And spells cost mana. And as you can see, we are slowly improving.
Your dungeon has been breached.
It has.
Your imps will call your creatures to defend
Oh, hey.
the dungeon heart. They must make sure of its protection above all other tasks. Your imps have found some dwarves. These righteous little pests may stray on
Anyway,
If they do,
the spell's being improved, in theory.
That's what they deserve. Your dungeon heart is under attack.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I mean, it's flashing red, but it's not in any danger.
The paltry dwarfs are now destroyed. Allow your creatures time to rest and eat. When ready, guide them north to find Lord Darius's keep.
Guide them north? I'm thinking I'm going to find my way north regardless. So we're almost done with the improved imp. And
Your create
done.
imp spell has been upgraded.
Doesn't seem any cheaper. Ah, see, he's level 4. So I'm creating him at level 4 instead of level 1. Which makes them work faster. And tougher. Then less likely to get
A
whacked.
left click on your creature picks it up. A right click on claimed land then lets it drop. Be wary though. Don't drop them too near enemies, for the dropping stuns these beasts a time and makes them
Yeah, I
vulnerable
went over that
to
last
enemy
dungeon.
attacks.
And some critters are stunned longer than others. Like the Bile Demon is stunned for, 40 years.
Lord Darius's walls are breached. Your forces now must kill his guards and stir Lord Darius himself to come defend his land.
And you don't want to drop them too far away. See, they got up much slower. You don't want to drop them too far away because they won't notice the battle and they'll walk away like a bunch of idiots.
Last,
There you go.
Lord Darius has been roused. He enters through his hero's gate. Your forces now must kill him, and the portal gem of Sing-Song.
He's still level 1 though.
Keeper.
Yeah, I think we got
Think
that.
that you'll conquer me, you evil wretch.
Excuse me.
My laws and the power of good will drive
I didn't
you
release
from
you
this
from
land.
combat. Get back in there. Maybe I should have trained a little longer, but this video is getting a little long. It's gonna basically be about 1 dungeon per video, I fear. Yeah, he's on. Oh, by the way. Lightning Bolt also knocks him down, which is handy.
You seek to defile my realm with your foul sword. You will perish.
No, I think we got him.
Payday.
Yep.
Lord Darius lies dying. Now comes Horny to claim you the portal gem.
I'd forgotten that I had Thunderbolt.
Please.
Lightning Bolt. Whatever. Okay, he's just gonna walk over and grab it.
Nunchaku. I see you blasted Lord Darius off the face of the
And again, we
realm.
didn't find a special.
A most
The
entertaining
specials
way to
are
kill
just
portal gem.
free level,
Yeah,
or
the
free
tender screening
gold,
has been a
or
tremendous
here's
joy to my
15
ears.
imps or something. They're this early, they're not all that critical. I'm not going to write my name every time. So, as you can see, it's also a little scummier. And you can go back and
Smilesville.
do them again if you want.
Welcome.
So, that'll do it. Welcome to Dungeon Keeper 2. Hope you enjoy. I always kind of liked these games. I wasn't the best at them, but I always kind of had fun playing them. I will try to fight my hermit tendencies. I would have levels where I spent 2 hours on a level because it had a gem mine, and I just hunkered down. And there were a couple times that I actually starved out the enemy. They ran out of money and ran out of food, and all their creatures abandoned them. So when I finally left my dungeon, I just had to walk over and claim everything. I'll try to avoid doing that because that's not going to be very interesting to watch. But until then, have a good one.